clicked on this video, you probably either came from just randomly scrolling on YouTube, or you already know me as KRN Trades and you are keeping up on my trading journey. But I wanted to make a video kind of towards the beginner traders, kind of talking to my um, younger self when I first started trading, and I want to tell you guys a few things that trading has taught me over this journey that I've been in, and I did learn a lot of things, and I feel like you know there's no reason why I would not want to share these things that I've learned through trading that have helped me not just in my trading journey but also in my personal life. And by me doing this, I feel like it can help you on the other side of the screen by becoming a better trader, becoming a better person at the end of the day. So the first thing I actually learned from trading was this was very hard for me because I am a person that nowadays I'm not like that as much, but I really wanted to make money online. I've tried several businesses online, drop shipping, reselling, and now trading, but I've tried a lot of things online, and none of them actually like worked. Like trading has been working for me, and the first thing that I actually learned was that I need to focus on the skill and not the money that I'm making. If I become really good at the skill set, right, I become really good as a day trader, the money will come to me. I don't need to be chasing the money. I need to chase what will make me the money, if that makes sense. For example, a soccer pro player, right? Soccer player, he's not gonna go into playing soccer just for the amount of money that soccer players make. In order for him to get to that level, he has to be a really good athlete, a really good player, in order for him to get paid the amount of money that he deserves. You should become really good at the skill. If it's trading, if it's anything that requires a skill set, you should become good at that skill in order to deserve to get paid, right? When I started trading, I was obsessed with the idea of making money. And like over time, I realized that like as long as I get really good at the skill, I'll be okay, and the money is a byproduct of becoming good at a skill. Second thing I learned was, I feel like a lot of us learn that through trading, and it's probably one of the first things that you learn, is that patience pays. Not just patient. You can't expect to be a patient person in the charts and not in real life. In order for you to become a patient person in the charts, you first have to become patient in real in in your day-to-day life as a person, right? A lot of the trades that the best trades that you take come from you literally sitting and waiting for your setup to play out on like every day. And it's the same thing for your life. You can't rush success, right? You're not going to be able to turn your life around from one night to the other. Like success, business, relationships, the gym, anything that involves growth, like personal growth or anything that involves growth requires time, and you have to fall in love with this journey, right? You can't expect to get into trading today and become this like billionaire version of you by tomorrow. No, I promise you, anything that's good takes time. Anything that's worth it takes time. So yes, patience pays. Be patient in real life. Be patient for anything that you do. You and it will reflect back into the charts. As long as you're patient. Don't try to rush things. And I promise you, the right opportunities come when you're patient. Literally when you're just waiting for them to happen. And you have to be able to, see the opportunity and take it right away. The third thing that I actually learned, and it took me a while to realize this, and I feel like a lot of people go through this where they think just because you're trading today, you don't have to think about the day that is ahead of us, right? Tomorrow, next week. But every day is a new opportunity. And what do I mean by that? Right? One bad trading day doesn't define who you are, doesn't define your weekly P&L, your monthly P&L, your yearly P&L, right? One mistake doesn't define you as a trader. One mistake in life doesn't define you as a person, right? The same thing that you're doing in the charts, it works the same way in real life. Just because you made one mistake today in the charts, that doesn't define that you're a bad trader. Just because you made one mistake in a relationship, in a friendship, that doesn't define you as a person, right? Every morning that you wake up is a new opportunity to do things right. It's a new opportunity for you to get better, even like 1% every day. It's a new opportunity for you to be better than you were yesterday. So every day when you wake up, try to be better than you were yesterday. Mistakes happen, and as long as you learn from them and you move on and you fix them, you will be getting better every day. The fourth thing that I learned: discipline creates freedom. As much as that sounds weird, yeah. So discipline creates freedom. And what do I mean by this? Trading literally forced me to become a disciplined person. You can't expect to become good as a trader if you're not disciplined outside of the charts. You got to be able to follow your strategy. You got to be able to follow your risk management. You got to be able to follow your rules. You got to be good with your psychology. And the same thing in the charts applies to your life outside of the charts, right? If you're a person that you work out, you got to be disciplined with your meals. You got to be disciplined with going to the gym. If you're a person that is involved with maybe you go to school, you got to be disciplined to study. You got to be disciplined to showing up to classes. You got to be disciplined to do all the things that come with that, right? Business. You got to be willing to do a lot for your business. Be disciplined. And discipline is not just a trading skill. It's just something that you can use in life, literally, like every day. I personally, before I started trading, I was not disciplined at all. And I'm honest about it. I'm not gonna bullshit and tell you guys that, I was fine. No, I wasn't disciplined at all. Like, I worked and that was it. I worked and I went to school, and yeah, that was my life. I was disciplined for a few other things, but that was the least I could be doing. But after I started trading, bro, I started reading. Can you believe that? I picked up a book. I have a bunch of books now, that I read. And I started reading because if I want to become disciplined, I have to be doing uncomfortable things. I don't like reading, but I learn a lot from literally picking up a book and reading from books that successful people wrote. And I can assure you that you will learn a lot from reading. Literally picking up a book, and if you're looking to, you dream of becoming successful and you have a desire to become successful, you will have to read at some point. You will learn a lot. Not only reading, but bro, I I didn't even go to the gym. I would start going to the gym, go 2 days, hit freaking arms and chest, and call it a day, bro. I would go to the gym literally like twice a week. Not even. I would skip the gym for like weeks, bro, and think I was gonna get anywhere. I was gonna see any progress. Hell no. You can't expect to show up once every other day, once every week, and call yourself disciplined. What do you expect? They're gonna show up in the charts, follow your rules once a week. Out of the 5 trading days, you're gonna follow your rules one day, and you expect to become profitable at the end of the month. No, you gotta show up every fucking day and do that thing over and over and over. You gotta follow the system. You gotta follow your training system. You gotta follow the patterns, right? You gotta show up every day. Be patient. Follow your risk management. Follow your training setup. You're literally doing that over and over and over, and it's gonna get boring. And life gets boring once you're disciplined, and you're doing the things over and over and over. But that's the whole part of the. It's part of the game, right? You can't expect to show up and do fine if you're not even able to follow rules on the day, like outside of the charts. You're not even disciplined. You're not even disciplined to wake up on time every day. Maybe fucking go to the gym, go on a walk. Like, you gotta be able to follow some sort of system outside of the charts for you to be doing well in the charts as well. You gotta be disciplined. Discipline is the first step to success. And actually, one of the first steps, because first of all, for you to become successful, you need to have desire to win and a dream. Um, Another thing that helped me a lot in trading, and I had to learn, was that confidence is built, not born. Literally, right? Confidence isn't. I can't just be confident when I'm winning. I have to be confident when I'm losing, winning, break even days, days that I don't feel like doing anything. I still have to be confident. I have to show up and be confident about how I trade, be confident about my strategy, and know that it works for a reason. I have to understand and be confident within myself that things will work. I can't be doubting myself, right? Doubt and fear will get me nowhere. It won't get you anywhere. You watching this video, if you fear blowing your account, if you fear taking a bad trade, bro, just quit. Just quit. If you're gonna be a pussy and you're gonna be fearful of making mistakes, you might as well just quit. Alright? It literally being confident comes from preparing your mind and just repetition, doing this thing over and over and over and over. Let's go back to the sports. I don't play basketball. Like, I grew up playing soccer, but let's say you pick up a basketball and you shoot the ball and you score, right? You're getting the hoop, whatever, you score. You're gonna you're gonna be a little confident, right? You're gonna think that you can score any shots, and you're gonna keep on shooting and shooting and shooting, and you're gonna get the hang of it. And after 100 shots, you might be scoring like half of them, and you're gonna get better. It's just like trading. The more you practice, the better you'll get, and you have to build up that confidence. You're not just gonna, you know, your first day trading and you expect to be confident. No, especially on the live markets. Um, Another thing that I've learned: you can only control your actions. Can't can't control the outcome of things. Pretty much. That's what this one really is about. You can't control if you're gonna win or lose. All you're able to do is control your input. You can only control if you follow your plan correctly, and sometimes you might follow everything correctly. You might take an A plus setup, and it will still lose. But at the end of the day, you won because you followed every single thing that you needed to follow. So that's a win at the end of the day. You can't control the outcome of things, only the input. You can control your attitude in the markets. You can control your discipline. You can control your effort, your decision making. You can control all of that, but you can't control the outcome. You can't control if you're gonna win. You can control how your day is gonna go. Let's say like you're working out, you can only control the input that you put into working out. You can't control how your body will look like, you know, at the end of your workout session. You can't control if your pump is gonna look nice or not. For example, if if you're shooting the basketball, going back to the basketball example, if you're shooting the ball with the same form that someone, explained to you how to shoot a ball, and you're following that same like plan strategy of shooting the ball, and you miss a couple, it's fine. You still did the same thing that you've been doing that's been working for you. You can't control the outcome. Detach yourself from the outcome. Just focus on the input. So the best thing that you can do. If you focus only on the input, nothing will get you upset. Losing, whatever. You still won at the end of the day. You followed your strategy. You followed your risk management, right? Um, Another thing. I would say that your emotions are not always telling you the truth, right? Um, I feel like you really have to become emotionless when it comes to trading. You have to use a lot of critical thinking and analysis, but you can't let emotions get to you at all. I I had to. This was such a hard point for me, and I remember me dealing with all these emotions: FOMO, greed, freaking fear, overconfidence, and I literally had to detach myself from these things. Until this day, it's not like I'm gonna just bullshit. I'm being serious. I'm being so transparent with you guys. There's no cut in this video. Till this day, there will be days, and there are days where I'm trading and I feel FOMO and I want to enter the trade. Me, a freaking trader that's like trading with not trillion, but millions of dollars, he also has the same amount of emotions. He feels the same emotions that I do, that you do feel. But the only difference between me to him and him to you and me to you is that we don't act upon those emotions. We feel them, but we don't take action out of them, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna feel FOMO and just press buy or sell. I'm not gonna be scared of losing, even though the setup is playing out in front of me, and I'm gonna get scared and not enter the trade. Same thing goes to you. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be overconfident and just trading whatever. You shouldn't be gambling. You shouldn't be like revenge trading. You took a loss, get off the charts. You don't have to take another trade to make up for the loss that you just took. Right? Though that's what I mean by your emotions are not always going to tell you the truth. Right? You have to be disciplined. Detach yourself from the emotions. Sometimes you might feel like taking a trade to make the money back, and you're gonna feel this feeling that like the charts will play this trade for me because it doesn't want me to lose. Fuck no. The charts don't care about you. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't care how much you lost. It just doesn't care. It's just there doing its thing. It's moving. That's just your emotion. And your emotions are getting the best of you. And when you let the emotions get the best of you, that's when you're going to be losing. And that's how you're going to stay unprofitable. That's how you're not going to be able to go from the level that you're stuck at, what letting your emotions control you, to the next level where you're, trading good. You're able to trade from what you see in the markets and being patient, right? And your emotions will eventually ruin you when it comes to the markets. You have to be emotionless. And I always tell you guys that a lot of things that you do in real life will reflect to you in the charts, and being emotionless outside of the charts is really hard. Especially when you have to You don't have, when I mean emotionless outside of the charts, I'm not saying like you have to not care about anything outside of the charts. You're still a human at the end of the day. But when it comes to working and trading, you have to know that you can't rely on these emotions. Basically that. You can't rely on the emotions that you feel outside of charts and let them reflect how you will perform in the charts. I think we're at eighth or something. Um, I feel like this one a lot of people know, but the markets will expose so bad. The markets will humble you. The markets will show you every bad thing that you have involving your personality, who you are as a person. And I feel like if you are a good person, you will eventually become a good trader, right? If you're a person that does the good at the end of the day. But the markets will humble you till you fix all of your problems. I used to freaking deal with greed, and that was the worst thing ever because I wanted to make more money and more money and more money. Sometimes I would fucking enter a good trade and my TP's about to hit, and I would overextend my TP to make more money, and guess what? I would lose my trade because I wanted to make more money. And I remember days where I would literally lose because of doing that. And I would end up revenge trading and blowing accounts and losing money because I did at some point trade live accounts, and I would lose money, and I would literally, be so mad at myself. In that bed right there, I would cry at night because it was just I knew what I was doing wrong, and I for some reason I just couldn't fix this, and it was so annoying because I wanted to make more money, and it took me weeks to understand. I If I get my journal, I can literally show you guys. I have pages where I wrote down, I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy. Like literally the entire fucking page. I used to literally want more money. I would freaking lose trades over like an extra $10, an extra $30. That's how bad it was. I always wanted to make more money, and it got to a point where it was just ridiculous, and I had to change something, or else I would have been stuck in that same position. The markets will show you if you have an ego, if you lack discipline, if you're greedy, if you're impatient, if you're fearful. The markets will show all of that. You can try to hide your flaws from other people, but I promise you, eventually, the markets will end up exposing you. You know, because at the end of the day, like yes, it's you versus the market, but it's really you versus you. It's how you control yourself to be able to perform very well in the charts. That's literally it. The markets will expose you, and the moment you start seeing that you're getting exposed by the markets, you learn from the mistakes and you move forward to become a better trader. The earlier you start fixing these mistakes, the earlier you will, well, the sooner you will see progress, right? You can't expect to, well, today I'm going to overextend my take profit, but today it didn't work out, but tomorrow will work. It won't work. Your take profit is there for a reason. Follow your setup, follow your strategy, and I promise you, trading, will become something that you're good at. You know, the markets don't care. Like, and when I say the markets will expose you, it's literally the market's doing its thing, and you understand how you are messing up. Your mind is fucking up with what you're seeing in the charts, and um, I feel like a lot of people see trading and like becoming successful as just like, I'm not successful yet. I My future self is successful, and I will become successful, and I already am successful in the future. I know that. But a lot of you guys think success is this like this dopamine thing, right? You're successful, like you guys think it's exciting, but it really isn't, right? In reality, like becoming successful and becoming good at one thing is just you doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You're following the same routine, you're following the same rules, you're following the same patterns, you're following the same winning system. And eventually, like I already mentioned in this video, like it becomes boring, but the boring stuff will create the results for you. You will start seeing results from the boring stuff. Like for example, when you're working out, you find the workout split that works the best for you. For example, I work out and I like to do arms and shoulders, back and chest, legs and abs, day off, pull, push, legs and abs. I know exactly what workout I have to do every day. I know exactly what time I'm going to the gym. And it gets boring, you know? Sometimes I don't want to hit the same fucking set over and over and over again, but that's what's working for me. You know, sometimes like you might change a few things in your workout, but it's it's what's working for you. You gotta stick to it. It's working for a reason. Now it's just a matter of being patient. Like I already told you guys, you gotta be patient if you want to become successful. You just have to be patient and do those things over and over and over, right? Success is boring, and you hear a lot of people talking about it. Successful people know that their life seems boring because they're doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? You know, there will be days where you're doing things differently, right? If you're successful, you have the freedom to do things differently, but when it comes to working as a trader, you're doing the same thing over and over and over. You're getting in the charts in the morning, you're doing your market analysis, and then you're trading, and you're taking the same setup over and over and over. Another thing, um, it's it's really just you in this journey. Nobody's coming to save you. At the end of the day, it's just you're responsible for your own results. No one can, you know, grab your hand and trade for you. Nobody's gonna, you know, sit with you and make you become profitable. You will find like mentors. I mentor a few people and I help them. But I'm very clear. I tell them like I can teach you everything that I know, but when it comes to the charts, it's you and the charts. I can't trade for you. And I'm not gonna give you signals. I'm not gonna be a freaking signal bot telling you to buy and sell. Cause then you're not gonna learn anything. What are you gonna get out of this? Nothing. What if one day I freaking, you know, like I don't know, something happens and I'm not able to tell you when to enter. What, are you gonna be able to trade? No, if you're just getting signals from me, you're not learning. You're just fucking copying me. No one is coming to save you. Don't expect anybody to come and save you. From where you are, nobody's coming to freaking teach you how to. Well, there will be people that will help you, but it comes down to you taking action and doing the things for yourself. Your future is literally your responsibility, no one else's. I have to worry about my own future. You have to worry about yours, right? No one is coming to save you. Nobody. Nobody's coming to save you. Understand that. It's on you. It's on you. Watch it from the other side of the screen, because I had to understand that too. I thought one day shit would just click and you know my future would be like figured out. But to this day, sometimes I wonder about my future, bro. And it happens. But I take accountability of everything that I do on the daily in order for me to reach those levels that I want to be at. Right? Take responsibility for your future. Take responsibility for your mistakes. Learn from them. Move forward. Another thing, I feel like progress is invisible. Progress is invisible before it becomes visible, right? You're gonna have months where you're literally like not seeing any progress in the charts, right? You might be. I remember months where I would be fucking. There was, I forgot what month it was. There was a month where I was already getting payouts, and I went through a few months where I was not going through a lot of things good outside of the charts with my life. I had a lot of things outside of the charts affecting the way I was trading, and I had the markets were not like really moving well too. We were having like kind of bad price action, and I remember like just outside of the charts, I was just not doing well with my life, and um, I remember like even in the charts, I wasn't performing well, and I would back test like insane amount of hours. I would back test. I would go back on my journals, read my journals, back test again, freaking spend hours back testing, fucking watching candles print out over, like sessions like not London, but Asia, New York AM, New York PM. I would sit in the charts and try to understand what was happening that I couldn't trade well for those months. I literally went from performing good to performing super bad. And I understood that there was something wrong, not just in the charts, but outside of the charts. And there, I realized, like, I have to take responsibility for what's going on. Like we just talked about, you have to take responsibility for your future. I took responsibility, and I fucking worked. I worked hard. Back tested. Went through journals. Watched freaking YouTube video to learn how these people were still performing well in bad price action, and I was failing. Right? Didn't see progress during that month. Maybe the next month as well. And then boom. I'm not gonna say out of nowhere because I did put the work in. The next month I was fucking crushing. I went crazy, and I actually had a really good month. So just like I told you, progress is invisible before it becomes visible. Keep putting in that work every day. Journal your trades. Go back into your journal. Read your journals. Watch your trades if you record them. Whatever you do. Maybe journal your life. See if there's something wrong going on outside of your life that might be affecting the way you're trading. Try learning from all of these mistakes, all these lessons, because losses are just lessons. And I promise you, from you doing that, you're making progress. Slow progress, but you're making progress. And that progress will become visible. At the end, it will pay off. Right? You're gonna go through months where you're feeling like you're just working and nothing is working for you. You're just there wasting time. But I promise you, that's progress. You don't need to be getting paid to be putting in work. Right? The whole point when, let's say, I don't know where you are with your trading journey, but like a lot of people go from like, I learned how to trade, now I'm paper trading, and they have this urge to get on a fucking eval live account. They want to trade with real capital. Bro, I promise you, keep putting in that work on the paper trading, and once you come into like the live markets, you will see how the progress of trading fake money and not getting paid for that will become visible in the charts with real capital, right? Tell a lot of people that. Actually, like, I tell people to take the time and be patient during these early stages, because they will help you out later on with live capital and stuff. But a lot of people quit before they see results because they're not patient enough to see where their effort will lead them to, right? Another thing that I had to learn, um, losing is part of winning, and in order for you to become a good winner, you have to become a loser, right? Losing, you can win without losing, right? In order for you to become a good winner, you have to be a good loser. Every trader loses. I lose. You're gonna lose. The millionaire that trades $1 million a day is gonna take losses. You can't avoid it. It's inevitable to lose. You're gonna end up losing, and you're gonna end up taking losses. That's why your risk management is a thing. That's why your strategy is a thing. One thing is if you take a loss from emotions. You take bad trades because you get the best, like your emotions get the best out of you. But if your setup fails and you take a loss, that's still a win at the end of the day. You can't avoid taking losses. Your goal as a trader is not to win or lose, it's just to perform well in the charts. Your goal every day should be to hop in the charts, hop on the charts, see the patterns, take the same setup that you're gonna be taking, you know, that follows your strategy, and if it ends up green or red or break even, you executed your strategy. That's a win. Your Again, your goal is not to avoid losses. The goal is to learn from them, from the losses you take, and understand why you took these losses and move forward, right? Same thing in life. Let's say you get into a relationship. The relationship was going well, you both mess up, boom, you guys break up. What are you gonna do now? You're just gonna sit there and cry like a little bitch, like your relationship didn't work. You're just gonna sit and cry, and you're not gonna learn from whatever mistakes you made in the relationship to move forward to somebody else, maybe the same person. I don't know. I don't care who you're gonna go after, but you get what I'm saying, right? You learn from these losses. You learn from the mistakes, and you move forward. You have to keep on going forward. Keep on moving on, right? Relationships, friendships. Maybe you have a friend. You had a best friend growing up, and you fucked up. You made a mistake, and now you guys are not friends anymore. What are you gonna get out of that? By just sitting there and, complaining about you losing your best friend. You're gonna learn from your mistakes, and you're gonna fix them, and you're gonna move forward, right? Same thing that you would be doing in real life, you're gonna be applying in the charts, and vice versa, right? Another thing, just do things for yourself. Don't let other people's opinion control your decisions. Not at all. Because that's their opinion, not yours. At the end of the day, everybody lives their own life. My opinion shouldn't affect your decisions, right? And yours shouldn't affect mine. Your family's opinion shouldn't affect your decision. Your friends. Because at the end of the day, no one gives a shit. They're all worried about their own things. We all got our own bills to pay. We all got our own life to live. And a lot of people just don't understand trading in general. Like, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot of people that just don't understand what I do, and they think it's like stupid. Like family members don't understand it, and not everyone will be able to just understand your goals for your life. And like I just said, your life, not their life. So why do you care so much on others' opinion? It's your fucking life. You make the decisions for your own life. Think about your life in 10 years. If you listen to everybody's opinion in order for you to make a decision, are you going to be living the life that you want to live or their life? Right? If you listen to everyone, you will end up living their life instead of your own. You're not gonna live the life that I'm pointing the finger at you because you want to live that life, not them. So do what you want, not what they want you to do. Another thing. I feel like ego is a good thing and it's also a bad thing. Ego. I have to get a touch on that. I've always thought that ego is a good thing, but ego is good to a certain point. You have to have a sort of ego to know that you, as a person, you will achieve all of your goals. Right? You're confident. You have, you have this ego. You're you're so confident that you will be getting to these goals that you have for yourself. But you can't let ego get to you when it comes to the charts. A lot of bad trades, like probably some of my worst trades happened because I I just wanted to be right, and I had to prove myself that I was right. I had to prove someone else, or I had to prove the markets. I tried proving the markets that I knew where the market was gonna go, and not look at what the market's doing. Right? The markets don't care who's right. Life doesn't either. Life doesn't care if I'm right, if somebody else is right. Literally, sometimes the smartest thing you can do as a person is just to admit that you're wrong and move on. Right? I take a loss, I'm wrong. Move on. Move on to the next trade. I'm wrong about something in real life, move on. Learn from this mistake and move on. I don't have to be wasting my energy with my ego to try to prove that I'm right. And this will hurt you in the charts, right? You can't if you're trying to prove that you're right and you know what you're doing in the charts, the markets will humble you again. But when it comes to ego, it's kind of hard to explain. But ego, like, you need to have some sort of ego to know that you're the best at what you're doing, right? You will learn from other people. You have to be an open-minded person to learn from other people, right? It's a hard topic to talk about. There's two different meanings here, but don't let ego get to you when it comes to the charts. That's the main idea behind this topic. Um, Consistency. You have to be consistent. Consistency will be intensity. And what do I mean by that? If you have one good day and three bad days, and then you have a really good day again and three bad days, that's intensity. You're gonna have that one day that's just really good, and you expect that one day to be better than all of the other shitty days that you had. One perfect day won't change your life. One workout won't change your body. Like I told you, you can't expect to go to the gym once and look good, right? One winning trade won't make you rich. Simple as that. One, literally one day that you do really good won't change the outcome of things. It just won't. It's and what I mean by consistency beats intensity. You have to be consistent every single day. You have to show up in the markets, in life, be consistent. Follow your strategy every day. Follow your risk management every day. Go to the gym every day. Eat good good food every day. You know, if you like to go on walks, go on a fucking walk every day. Read the book every day. You know, if you read whatever you do that you believe that it's part of your winning system that will get you to the next level. You have to do that thing every single day. Even if it's like, let's say reading a book. Today you don't feel like reading a whole chapter, or you don't have time to read the whole chapter. Read 5, 10 pages. I promise you, you reading 5 pages in 1 week every day, that will end up being 35 pages. Wait. 35 pages at the end of the week. Bro, imagine if one day you read 20 and you don't read the next days. I promise you, you're still going to be beating that person that only does one that takes one day to do a good effort. if you're doing little by little every day and you're showing up every day, being consistent, maybe you go to the gym and then you get a light workout. You're still beating the person that only goes hard once a week. You have to be consistent. In the charts, if you follow your strategy, the 5 days of the week, some days you might skip trades, other days, you're just following your strategy. Maybe your setup didn't show up on Monday, but it did on Tuesday. You take a winning trade on Tuesday, and then you trade on Wednesday, and then you take a loss on Thursday, and then you don't trade on Wednesday. You're still gonna end up being, or whatever you do on Friday, you take one on Friday. You're still gonna end up being better than the person that showed up one day, took one good winning day, and lost all of the other days of the week. Be consistent. Literally, just be consistent. Show up every day. Be disciplined. We're very close. I feel like I got probably one or two more things that I want to talk about that I probably learned. I feel like the hardest battle you're gonna go through with the journey is with yourself. It's not learning the markets. It's literally you versus you. And like I literally mentioned this to you guys, and I feel like I'm gonna focus on just this now, but trading isn't really you versus the market. It's not. It's you versus your emotion. I already talked about this, but whatever. I'll just focus on this for now. But it's you versus your emotions, your fears, your impatience, your greed, your excuses. Literally, when I started, the more I traded, the more I realized the real challenge wasn't even me becoming a better trader. It was just me becoming a better version of myself every day. Literally, that was the hardest part of my trading journey. Till this day, I'm literally trying to become a better person every single day. Not just, a better trader. I'm trying to become a better version of myself every single day. I'm trying to help people out how to learn how to trade. I'm reading books so I become wiser. I go to the gym so I can keep my body healthy and my physical in shape. I'm journaling. I'm doing everything that I'm capable of. And I could probably be doing more to literally become a better version of myself, because at the end of the day, trading is a what's the word? At the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about the self-improvement. It's what you go through with trading, becoming a better version of yourself in order for the markets to pay off. You become a better version of yourself. You don't fear getting into trades. You don't have the feeling of making more money. You don't make excuses. You're not impatient. You're patient now. You sit and wait for a trade. You take your setup. You're a better version of yourself than you were. And I promise you, you will get paid by the markets. You will end up getting to that point that you want to be in life. You will become profitable. And I feel like this one is kind of like just, let me think of this. I'm still on this topic, of the person you will become, but just to wrap it up, the person you become is more. No, let me phrase that right. So the person you become is worth more money than the money. No, hold on, let me think of this. Alright, the person you become is worth more than the money. Just like I was saying, the person you end up becoming after you understand what it takes to become profitable is more worthy than the money you make. And this is definitely the biggest lesson I learned. Definitely. By far the best lesson that I learned. I got into trading because of the money. You guys know that. I already told you guys that. And you sitting on the other side, if you're still watching this video, you probably got into trading because you wanted to make money. And I know you didn't. You didn't. Oh my god, I love watching candles. No, the fuck you didn't. You got into this shit because you wanted to make money. I did too. But guess what? The biggest reward has been seeing myself become more disciplined, more patient, more confident, more focused, more responsible, more self aware. Even if trading disappears tomorrow, right? Trading is gone forever, which I don't think will ever happen. But if trading disappears tomorrow, I can take all these things that I learned, all these skills of being disciplined, being patient, and all the things that I just listed, and focus on something else. And I can take all of that forever. It will stay with me forever. The self discipline, right? The self improvement that I went through will help me in any other things that I tried doing in life, not just trading, right? Friendships, relationships, business, family, everything, right? For example, discipline. I can take the same discipline that I had to learn to become disciplined, and I can take that for for another business, for the gym. I can more patience, right? I can become patient for my wife, for my friends, for anything. Becoming patient is a good thing. Responsibility. I feel like a lot of people my age, even older than me, I see grown adults that don't know how to take responsibility over their own lives. They be they be blaming other people like freaking kids. Grow up. Take responsibility for your own life. You're in the situation that you're currently in because you were responsible for every single choice that you made till this point. And you're responsible for your future, like I already mentioned to you, right? So, yes, the money is good, but what makes the journey worth it is the person that you become at the end of the day. I hope this message was able to help you guys with, with wherever you are in life. And I wish you guys the best.